I've just come to the sudden realisation that I don't think I filmed an intro for this video. So this is the intro. Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be doing a 24-hour reading vlog, and you are currently seeing future me because straight after this I'm going to be filming the last clip for this vlog. In this vlog I am going to be reading for 24 hours. The way that I usually do it is I usually set a timer and then I just stop it whenever I stop reading. In this vlog I am also travelling to London, so you will see a little bit of my London adventures because I'm going to be seeing Bring Me the Horizon and Bad Omens in concert, which, let me just say, changed my brain chemistry. Now I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I don't actually read much in this vlog. I read 2 books, and you know what, that's okay. I feel like I always fail with these 24-hour reading vlogs. I feel like I just need to stop doing them because I don't read much. Like, I don't understand how people read so much when they do these. But anyway, welcome to the 24-hour reading vlog. Let's just get on with it. And hello past Claire. Hello. You can now see why future me introduced this video and not current me, which is past me technically, because I look like this. In my defence, I leave for London tomorrow morning and all I'll need to do is take out my hair, shake it, and I'll be glamorous. Obviously I'll have to do my makeup too, but this is what we're working with, alright? I've unleashed my inner Doris. Deal with it. So I haven't actually started my 24-hour timer yet because I've literally only just sat down. I have been packing for London all evening and I have now literally just sat down. So I am going to give you guys a little update to tell you where I am in the book so far. Also tell you what it's about, and then I will get underway and start reading, and hopefully I can finish it at some point. So I'm currently reading Powerless by Lauren Roberts. I'll put the cover somewhere, probably here. This is a young adult fantasy that follows a young girl named Payden who lives in a world that was basically ravaged by this plague, and from this plague emerged people with powers who they now call the elites. And if you didn't emerge with powers, you either died or you are known as what's an ordinary and you don't have powers at all. Now what happened was the king of the land essentially decided at some point when this all occurred to banish the ordinaries. If they didn't kind of leave the city in time, he decided to execute them all, and we are now at a point in this world where if you are found to be an ordinary, you are executed on the spot. They don't want to know, because the king has basically said that the ordinaries will dilute the powers of the elites. He's just an evil man. He just doesn't want people without powers. I don't know why. I don't feel like the reason he's given is a good enough reason. I feel like there's something else going on, but I haven't figured out what that is yet. Now in this story, Payden is obviously an ordinary, but she basically tells people that she is a psychic, and that's kind of how she gets by, because what she does is she reads people and she reads situations and then they just think that she's psychic. Now one day she unknowingly saves one of the princes, and because of that she is then put into this thing called the purging, which is this contest that goes on between a couple of like elite contestants, and it's really bloody, it's really violent. Think the Hunger Games but like fantasy style. I haven't actually got to the actual purging yet, so I don't know what that involves. I think it's a bunch of different trials and I'm gonna guess each time someone is eliminated. I don't know, I haven't got that yet, I don't know. What this was being advertised as was kind of like enemies to lovers, a romantasy, and honestly when I read the premise I was like, yes, I am all about that life. So I am currently on chapter 22, which is 37% of the way through on my Kindle. So far, I'm not gonna lie guys, if I wasn't filming this 24-hour reading vlog, I would have probably DNF'd this. I actually did think about DNFing this around about 20% in, but it was getting closer to the end of the week and I really wanted to do a 24-hour reading vlog, and I thought, you know what, like I just feel like I have to push through. The problem that I have is that I'm reading this really quickly. I'm just not enjoying it. This was very much a Booktok hyped book, and I genuinely thought that I was going to have another fourth wing moment, and it turns out it is in fact not another fourth wing moment. So many people have loved this book and have rated it 5 stars in 2023, And I had to go on Goodreads to check to see whether anyone else had rated this really low because I thought I was the only one. Luckily I'm not. The first thing I'll say is that this book is just reading like a carbon copy of loads of other books that I've read before. First of all, it's giving Hunger Games, but like knockoff Hunger Games. I haven't got to the trials yet, but it's just, it's giving that kind of atmosphere because they've kind of had these interviews that they've done in front of loads of people and they have to like win over the crowd, and you know, they've like seen the arena, and it's just like, I don't know how to explain it other than that so far, but like it's giving Hunger Games but without all of the emotion and like the connection. I've also heard people say that this seems like a knockoff of Red Queen, like there are a lot of parallels between this and Red Queen. I cannot comment on that because even though I've read Red Queen, I read it years and years ago, and I honestly, apart from the ending, I can't remember what that book is about for the life of me. It wasn't very memorable. I didn't really enjoy that one either, and I never like finished the trilogy, so I can't comment on that, but I do believe people when they say that because it's just, there's nothing in this book so far that strikes me as unique, which I know is awful to say because I feel like when so many books get published, especially when you read loads of fantasy, it's very easy to kind of see similarities between loads of, like, for instance, romantasy books. You know, like the morally grey character always has dark hair and maybe has shadow powers and all of this stuff. This story overall, it just so far feels like an author who has possibly read a load of this stuff before, has taken a bunch of stuff out from each of these books that she's really liked and thrown them into this book, and it's just like, it's trope central. It's almost like it's just been written for the Booktok girlies because the Booktok girlies go feral for this shit. They love it, and I can understand why because it's so tropey and honestly unoriginal. I'm not enjoying it, and it's really hard for me to feel like I need to push through, but I need to push through. I'm stubborn, I'm not giving up. It's a fast read, I'm not feeling connected to it at all. At the beginning, I could kind of let it slide because I was like, you know what, like it's just the beginning of the book, like this is fine. And then when I started getting to that like 20%, 30% mark, I was like, I'm still not feeling it. Like I don't get it, I really don't get it. The other thing I will say, obviously this is a romantasy, not feeling the romance either. It was advertised as like enemies to lovers, like rivals to lovers. It's not giving any of that. The romance between these two people, it hasn't happened yet, but there's no kind of real build up. I will also say you get two perspectives in this book, which I also am not enjoying. I think when it comes to fantasy, I don't mind different perspectives if the plot needs it. So for instance, like with Throne of Glass, you know, when the war starts happening and all of this stuff and there's so many like players in the game, I get it, like I want to know where everyone is, I want to know what they're doing and stuff like that. But if it's just like a solid romantasy, I don't necessarily want both perspectives. I would rather just see her perspective, especially when it's an enemies to lovers situation, because I want to feel like he hates her, and that hasn't happened because he pretty much has been infatuated with her from the very start. And even she's like trying to give off that she hates him, but in her inner monologue she's like, oh no, like I'm really attracted to him. Like it's really annoying. I don't like the dual perspectives. Yeah, I don't have anything else to add other than that. I'm not loving it. I'm not keen. And I hate this. I have simultaneously had my highest rated book of the year already. I've had my first 5-star read of 2024, and I can already tell I'm going to have my first low rated book of the year, which makes me sad but also happy at the same time because I feel like I've gotten it out of the way. Like I feel like once I've had my first terrible book, then I can just be like, okay, like that's fine, like we got through it, we had that moment, and now we can move on. And if we have any more bad books, it's fine because we know we'll get through it. Anyway, that's my thoughts so far. I very much doubt they're going to change. There's just nothing exciting about this book at all. It's one of those books where it's very much a surface level of entertainment for me. Like I'm literally just reading the words, and even though I'm picturing things, I'm not enjoying them. Like I'm not fully immersed. Like I know I'm reading when I'm reading this, and I don't lose myself in the writing, and that's always what I look for when I'm reading, especially if I want a high rated book, and this isn't giving any of that. And I don't let Booktok lie to you, okay? This is the first time this year that Booktok has lied to me. what a letdown, and it's in January, for goodness sakes. Anyway, that's where I am. I'm gonna start my 24-hour reading vlog now and start the timer, and hopefully future self, who you would have just seen, is now gonna come back to you with an update, and hopefully she's either nearly finished or she's finished, because I don't want to have to be reading this the day before my concert. There we go, I'm manifesting it. Don't let me down. I'm gonna do this little update in the bathroom because I think there's someone next door and I find it really awkward. I haven't got my tripod also, so if this ends up shaky, it's my fault because I didn't pack it because it was just too bulky. Oh my god. I am now at my hotel. I had a little bit of a palaver getting here because as soon as I got here, the line that I needed was suspended. So I had to go through a whole rigmarole of like 3 different trains and a very long walk to try and get to my hotel. And then when I got here, I found out that the line that I specifically need tomorrow to get everywhere is completely suspended for the whole day. I love that for me. Here's the issue. During the day, not too bad. During the evening, when it's going to be like nearly midnight and I get out of my concert, not so fun because I have no idea how I'm getting back. Apparently there's like rail replacement buses. Where the fuck do I get one of those from? So yeah, I just, Anyway, update. I think I have 18 hours left on my reading vlog. I am currently, I'm pretty sure I'm like 74% of the way through. I basically have a little over 100 pages left of Powerless. I still stand by what I said. There are moments that I really enjoy, and then the characters will say something and then I'll just be rolling my eyes again because it's just so annoying. It's very much giving from Blood and Ash, which I hated as well. There are quite a few kind of obvious typos that shouldn't have been left in the book, and not only that, but I'm finding there's a lot of like really repetitive phrases and also just like repetitive actions from the characters. Like she constantly rolls her eyes. In his inner monologue, he constantly says, what is she doing to me? And like, there's like little things like that where I'm just like, oh, come on. And then he always says to her, oh, you're such a vicious little thing. And he'll say darling to her a lot. And it's just, oh my God, it's just so infuriating. And I can't wait for this book to be over. Weirdly enough, obviously, like earlier on in the vlog, I was like, oh, I can't really say that this is like Red Queen because I can't really remember it. I feel like I'm in the process of reading this book. I feel like I'm remembering the plot of Red Queen. Like I genuinely think I have remembered what the plot was. Yeah, it's not going to be a good rating. I'm not feeling it. Not at all. Anyway, this evening's Claire now has to figure out tomorrow's Claire's problems. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I hate things like this because I try not to come into situations like this. I try to have everything organised, and now everything's tips up. Thanks, London TFL. Okay, quick update before I leave. It is now the next day. Past Claire decided to actually deal with the whole train situation last night. So the situation is sorted. It just means that my journey is a little bit longer now, which I'm not happy about. Like, I'd rather get on a train and like head straight back to the room once my concert's finished. So the plan is today is that I'm gonna head into London. I'm gonna actually go to some of the shadowhunter locations. So I've been to all of them before, but I only went to them in the evening, and I went there like years and years ago. Obviously I go past them frequently, but I just don't stop off, and I've decided just to have a little explore today because I have nothing else to do. So I'm gonna be going to Blackfriars Bridge. I'm going to be going to St Bride's Church, which is the actual London Institute, and then I'm going to go to where the Devil's Tavern technically used to be, because it was actually a place, but there's only a plaque there now, but I want to go and take a picture of the plaque. So I'm going to go there. I'm just going to have an explore. I do want to go to I don't know if it's just Asian or whether it's Korean, but like a Korean-ish like supermarket to get some food, because I already have a noodle pot here, but I kind of want to get something else for maybe when I get back a little bit later and I want something just before the concert, because my original plan was to either get pie and mash, which is now not going to happen because I can't be bothered to go back on myself on a bus and then come back, or it was to get Five Guys, and I usually go to Stratford for that, but alas, pretty much all of the DLR is down, so I'm just gonna have an explore today and have some fun, because I never get to do that in London. I just always like whiz around, or I'm going to one place, or I don't really explore like a tourist. So I'm gonna do that today and bring you guys along with me, and hopefully I get some footage, so and hopefully my camera doesn't get stolen. So I was just on Blackfriars Bridge, which is obviously where like a massive scene in the Infernal Devices happens. So I'm now going to St Bride's Church, and I just want to say this quickly. I literally was taking clips of like the bridge sign, and then literally like not even 1 minute after I've done that, some guy walks past with his son and he's like, oh, let's take a picture. So I kindly replied back, oh, let's be an arsehole, and hopefully he heard me. Like, what is the need? I'm not hurting anyone. I'm just taking a picture of a fucking sign, and yes, I'm from here, and I'm doing touristy shit, so piss off. I'm going to quickly update this before I leave, because it is now 20 to 6 and the first opening act comes on at 6:30, so I'm probably cutting it fine, but I don't really care about, oh, I hate saying it, but I don't really care about the first two opening acts. I only know one of them, and I have listened to both of the band's like music, and I'm not overly keen on it, but like I'll listen to it, if that makes any sense, which I hate saying, but like it's like anything. I could show up, listen to the music live, and then feel completely differently about it, because that's happened with a lot of opening acts that I've seen before, where I'm like, yeah, I'm not too sure, it's not really for me, and then I hear some of the songs live and I'm like, oh, I love that, that's a banger. So I'm gonna get there when I get there, but I've got seated, which is why I haven't really like rushed. I've had a lovely day. Usually when I go to a concert, usually spend the whole day in line, because I've usually got standing and I've usually got VIP. I didn't mean it like that, but like I'm usually standing, and I feel like concerts are crazy now for standing. Like I mean, I noticed it back in 2018. People just get to these venues like abnormally early. I don't know what the O2's been like today. I'm gonna assume that people have been queuing up all day. I'm just not about that life. I don't want to do that. I haven't got time for it. I don't want to do it. You just end up really tired. And I've just had a nice day walking around London and exploring places that I've been before. Like I've you know, London's kind of not new to me or anything, but it's just been nice to like wander around and stuff. And other than that guy who decided to make a really shitty comment about, oh, let's take a picture. I've had a nice day. There are a couple of places that I kind of wish I'd walked to, but I didn't have the time, and I didn't want to rush around, and I'm back in March and I'm also back in June, so I'm not really that bothered. I ended up going to Stratford in the end because I forgot that there's actually 2 lines I can get to Stratford, so I ended up having 5 guys, which is great because I'm now sick to my stomach with food. I do have a noodle pot with me, so when I get back this evening I will be eating noodles. But I've had a lovely day. I hope you guys enjoyed the little shots I got of me going around London. I hope you enjoyed seeing the Infernal Devices and the Last Hours locations, because I love seeing those. And, you know, when I go past like the posh places like Kensington and stuff, I'm like, oh, I wonder where like Cordelia and James live. Like, it's just, I love seeing those places, and I love it when books are kind of like based in and around places that you can go to and see, and it's like, oh, like my favorite characters have been here. Like, it's just nice. Like, I like it. I'm delusional, I know. Anyway, I am gonna skedaddle off to the concert because I'm cutting it fine already, and I have to get a bus for part of my journey because the DLR's down. Thank you TFL. I really appreciate that. The hilarious thing is, Bring Me the Horizon have put a thing up on their Instagram saying that the, is it called the Southall Tunnel? I can't remember. I've been through that so many times, but I can't remember the name of it. One of those is closed, southbound, so nothing is working in anyone's favour tonight. So if you're driving, you're also fucked. Anyway, I have a little reading update. I did a little bit of reading earlier when I was eating my lunch, but I forgot to start my timer. But I have got around about 17 hours left on my 24-hour reading vlog. So I think this will end past the point of when I get home. So I wanted to make this 24 hours and end it in London. It's not going to end in London. It never does. I don't know why I do this. I should start it like a day early and then it would. But alas, here we are. I will stick by what I said. There are parts that are really enjoyable, and then the book just hits me with the repetitive phrases again, and I get so annoyed. And yeah, it's giving Red Queen. Like, I put it down to that now. Like, it's really reminding me of Red Queen. Like, I'm literally reminded of the whole plot of Red Queen whilst reading this, and I haven't read that book in years, and I didn't even remember what it was about, and now I'm remembering what it was about. Anyway, I will see you on the flip side, and hopefully I get some concert footage, so enjoy that now. If you don't enjoy heavy rock music, you know what? I'm not going to apologise. Just skip it. Just skip over it. Or broaden your horizons. Also, going to do a quick room tour and show you my OOTD for this concert. I'm hoping that the metalheads don't judge me too harshly for this. We've got a Taylor Swift inspired sweatshirt because naturally that's what you wear to a rock concert. I've got these jeans which are Pull&Bear, which are, oh my god, Pull&Bear jeans, I swear by them. I've worn them for years, they're amazing. Ugg boots, which have been an absolute lifesaver because I swear to god my feet have never been so warm this winter. And a vintage jacket, which I got from Urban Outfitters, like, probably like nearly 10 years ago, almost 10 years ago. And I repurposed it to say Rattle the Stars on the back. So it's a Throne of Glass jacket now because it had Seen Better Days on the back and I wasn't feeling it because I had old men coming towards me and ask me stupid questions about it. So I changed it to Throne of Glass, so hopefully one day someone will come up to me and be like, oh my god, I love your jacket, is it Throne of Glass? And I'll be like, yes, my people. Anyway, that's what I'm wearing. Hoping the metalheads don't judge me too harshly. I wouldn't blame them if they did. I just want to be comfy, and this is me, okay? I like all types of music and I can dress however the fuck I want. I've also got a bow in my hair. Rock on. Anyway, here is the entrance. Mirror, obviously. Another mirror. Which has actually come in handy because I forgot my mirror for my makeup and this one has a light around it. Tea station, TV which I literally have not used, table, the comfy bed, the bathroom. Which I'm just going to say, down points, I've stayed at so many Premier Inns, right, and I'm so used to coming here now and having a bath. There was no bath. Luckily I forgot my bath stuff, so there we go. The universe knew, and the universe was like, no, you don't need to take your bath stuff because there won't be one, so I'm thankful for that. There's also USB ports, so a +1 for that as well, but a -1 for the no bath situation. Anyway, I'm literally gonna have to go because I'm really kind of fine. Okay, I'll see you guys on the flip side. quiet. I'm in the bathroom again because I don't know if anyone's next door. Excuse the absolute state of me. Some of you will look at me and think, oh, you don't look that bad. I don't know what's going on with my lipstick. I've taken my eyelashes off because, and I just feel a bit trashy. So I've just got back from the concert. It's nearly midnight. It took me a lot longer to get back because obviously route replacement buses and stuff. That was that was amazing. That was so good. I would have inserted a couple of clips. Also, buying a new phone last year was the best thing I ever did. Didn't quite turn out how I wanted because I don't know how people get these like really good fan cam videos from the like S23 Ultra. I don't know how they do it, but I need to figure it out because I'm seeing Taylor Swift in June and we're at the back. So either way, I've got some pretty good videos and they are way better than what they would have been if I'd had my old phone. So I'm really glad I upgraded. I saw Bad Omens. They were incredible. I saw Dethrone live. That was a spiritual experience. That is my favourite song. I've had it on repeat for like literally weeks. Bring Me the Horizon was incredible. Like the set design, the lighting, oh my god. They had the best set design and lighting that I've ever seen at a concert so far. Okay, I've seen a few people now, but like that was, it was the kind of concert where you feel the music in your chest and the whole place is vibrating. Oh my god, it was fucking amazing. That's my update. Obviously I didn't do any reading. I would have read on my phone, but unfortunately I needed to save my battery. And amazingly, I still had like 20% left. You know, upgrading that phone was the best thing I ever did. Anyway, I'm gonna probably put my hair in a wrap, take my makeup off and eat some noodles. Hello everyone. The fringe situation, we're just gonna have to deal with it. I've had a shower and it got wet, so it's not greasy, it's just wet. It is now Tuesday evening. I got back from London on Sunday evening. I had 3 hours sleep between the concert and having to come back, and I fell asleep. However, what I did do on Sunday was I finished Powerless by Lauren Roberts. I gave it 2 stars. I didn't enjoy it. I felt like the whole book was just recycled plots from loads of other books, and I know you could say that about a lot of books in, you know, the publishing industry right now or whatever, but I just honestly felt like the author just threw in a bunch of plots and obviously knew that the book girlies on Booktok would love it, and that's that. I felt like some parts were promising, like some parts I really enjoyed, but just the book overall, it was unoriginal. It was too unoriginal for me. It was giving Red Queen, it was giving Shein version of Hunger Games, and I just didn't like it. Honestly, my experience when reading that book reminded me of From Blood and Ash, and that's not a good thing. If you liked either of those books, then good for you. I'm really glad you liked them. No, not for me. On the way home, I did try to start The Winter King by C.L. Wilson. See cover here. I did read a really tiny bit and then I fell asleep because my brain wasn't computing with the words on the page, and there was a lot to take in, and I'd just gone from a book that was relatively easy to read and had so much repetitive and annoying shit going on that it just felt like fan fiction, to actually having to read a book with decent writing, and I couldn't do it, so I gave up. Alas, I've made progress. Yesterday I marked it as currently reading on Goodreads, and since yesterday, I can tell you right now, I'm on chapter 9 and I'm 30% in. Guys, do not let this cover fool you. When some of the girlies on Booktok said that C.L. Wilson is a big inspiration for Sarah J Maas and her writing, they were correct. You can see it. I can see why Sarah J Maas likes her writing. It is so addictive. Let me tell you, when I initially started this book, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to get into this. I don't see why people are making a fuss over it, and I don't know why it's popular. I got to around about, I think it was around about 50 odd pages in. Addicted. This book is like a drug. Do not let this cover fool you. If you just go in blind, you know, maybe you shut your eyes when you're listening to me talking right now, keep doing that. Just go get The Winter King by C.L. Wilson, don't look at the cover. I made a mistake when I initially spoke about this book, I think in my TBR video, saying that I thought this book was from the 90s or the 80s. This book was published in 2014. I'm not sure how that works. This definitely looks like a book from the 90s or the 80s. It's not. It's from 2014. That was definitely an artistic move. I know they're probably trying to appeal to a different audience, but honestly I probably would have read this sooner if it didn't have this cover. So you're probably wondering, what is The Winter King about? So, I'm gonna try and explain this in the most simple terms possible. It is a romantic fantasy about this young woman who basically lives in what we'll call the Summer Court. Her father is the Summer King, and then on the opposite end of this world you have the Winter King. About, I think it's like 3 years or like 4 years earlier, the Winter King has a younger brother who's like 16 at the time. He has this woman who he is basically betrothed to, and she's going to become queen. And the Summer Prince ends up going to the lands of the Winter King, because like this world has had kind of like feuds going on and stuff, and they have like a trade agreement and whatever, and they're trying to keep the peace. During this time that the prince is in this Winter King's land, he not only steals this guy's betrothed woman, he also kills his younger brother. And so then this guy's just like, war! You've got a massive war that breaks out. And then a couple of years later, when kind of things have died down and the Winter King has kind of like won the war, he decides he's going to exact revenge on the Summer Court. And so he decides that the way he's going to do this is he is going to say that, look, you can have peace, but I am going to take one of your daughters, I'm going to marry her, make her queen, and then I'm going to knock her up with a kid, and if she can't get knocked up with a kid, I'm going to kill her and then come back for your other like daughter. And this guy has like 3 daughters that everyone knows about, but he has a 4th that people don't really know about, because, you know, he keeps her locked away because she has this like really immense power, and the king basically thinks that she killed her mother. You know where this is going. So the Winter King takes this daughter that no one really knows about, and that's not the one that he wanted, but that's the one that he got. And so things go from there. You got kind of like a little bit of enemies to lovers going on. There's a little bit of tension. Look, listen, I can see where Sarah J Maas got her inspiration from, because it's giving fated mates right now. There's some magic juju going on every time like they touch hands and whatever. I love this book. It's just it's so nice to go from a book that was really bad to a book that I'm obsessed with. Listen, the writing takes a little bit of getting used to, and there is a little bit of world building that is a tiny bit tedious. Once you get past the writing style, like the way that they speak, like the dialogue and everything, and also the world building and the cover, I'm telling you, Sarah J Maas was onto something. I might be a new C.L. Wilson girly. I might have to read every single other book that she's come out with, because I'm flying through this book. When I saw that this was like 500 something pages, I was like, I can't. I'm not going to fit this in this month. I'm not going to fit this in before House of Flame and Shadows. I might have to start another book after this before I even get House of Flame and Shadows. So I'm obsessed. I love the romance. I'm digging it. I'm vibing. And that's all I can say right now. So that's my update, and I'll come back to you with another update when I have one. Ignore the cover, pick it up. I ended this and then realised I hadn't even told you how long I have left on the clock. I have 10 hours and 55 minutes in which to finish this book. Will she do it? We won't know until she tries. So this is officially the last clip of this reading vlog. I actually ended up starting my timer last night, and then I accidentally forgot to stop it when I fell asleep. So then this morning when I kept reading my book, the time went off and I was like, Oh, I didn't stop it, did I? So I'm gonna stop the 24-hour reading vlog here because I feel like I didn't have much time on the clock anyway. So I officially did finish The Winter King by C.L. Wilson, and I gave it a solid 4 stars. I actually finished it in the early hours of this morning because I randomly woke up and then was like, you know what? I'm gonna read through it and just like do it now, because I feel like if I try reading it later on in the day, I'm just not gonna get it finished. So my overall thoughts were, I am pleasantly surprised by this book. I definitely can see how much influence Sarah J Maas has got from C.L. Wilson's writing. Honestly, if you're a Sarah J Maas girly, give The Winter King a go, because honestly I am pleasantly surprised that I enjoyed this one as much as I did. The only thing that I would say I didn't like so much and kind of put me off was the dialogue. The dialogue is giving like old-timey writing, and what I mean by that is, if I like relate it back to Sarah J Maas, in ACOTAR, even though it's kind of set in this almost like medieval setting, because obviously they don't have electric, they don't have like, you know, I don't think they have running water. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know the situation, but they don't, it's not like a modern world. And the difference is that they don't talk old-timey, like they're very modern in the way that they speak. Whereas in this book, it's set kind of like in a, you know, old time medieval setting, but they also talk in that way as well. And there was just certain like dialogue bits that I couldn't get past, and I just didn't really like the style of the dialogue. But other than that, I really enjoyed it. It was the perfect mixture of fantasy elements mixed with romance, and I feel like sometimes with romantasy, that's what's missing for me. When it comes to these kind of like TikTok sensation books where, you know, they're romantasy books, I often feel like the main focus is the romance, which is okay if that's what you're looking for, but I like a good mixture of the both. And I felt like the world building and like the magic system in this world were really well done. And I honestly, I could read a series about these characters and this world. And before I went into this, I actually thought that it was a series, and technically it is, but only in the sense of like, when you read a romance series, the books are kind of interconnecting, but you read about different characters and then the other characters pop up. But it's not like an actual like connected, you have to read the next book series. But I thought it was done really well. I felt like the ending wrapped up really nicely. Like if I didn't want to, I wouldn't have to go on to the next book. I think eventually I will when I'm kind of like in the mood for it again. But I'm just shocked. I think I might be a C.L. Wilson girly. I am honestly amazed. I get it. I get the hype. There was a sprinkling of smart. It was, I liked the romance. I loved the fantasy. And yeah, I enjoyed it. So I'm pleasantly surprised. Anyway, that is the end of this reading vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm not gonna lie, I mainly usually film these because I want to kind of have something to document my little kind of like concert trip. I do it for selfish reasons. There'll probably be another one in March. If you guys enjoyed this video, then don't forget to give it a like, and if you want to see more content from me, then don't forget to subscribe, and until the next video, I will see you then. So bye guys.